Hey, what's up, everyone? This is Ivan with Uplift Your Finances, and this is the second video of the course. If you did miss the first video, I do have a link down below for you to access that information. It was just a brief overview of what to expect in this course. So today we're going to be going over the cash flow quadrants, capital gains versus passive income, and we're also going to go over the different asset classes that you can invest in. Now, these are all concepts that I learned from Robert Kiyosaki, so I highly recommend that you read his books and listen to his podcast. This way you can get more familiar with what he teaches. So let's get started. So the cash flow quadrants are basically the four different ways in which cash income is generated. You have the E quadrant, the S quadrant, the B quadrant, and the I quadrant. So in the E quadrant, E stands for employee. These are people who earn income by holding down a job, either working for someone else or working for a company. In this quadrant, you work for money because you're giving up your time to earn a paycheck. So below that, you have the S quadrant. These are the self-employed people who earn money working for themselves, either as a solo operator or through their own small business. In this quadrant, you work for your business. This is because you're still very much involved in the day-to-day operations of your business. So examples, if you're a lawyer, an accountant, or a sales specialist, you actively have to work with clients to generate income. If you don't work with clients, then you won't generate any income. Also, if you own a small mom and pop shop or a small brick and mortar business, you are still very much involved in the day-to-day operations of that business, meaning you have to be there to open up the shop. You have to be there to manage the shop so that way you can generate income. If you aren't there to manage the business, then you won't generate any income. That's why in this quadrant, it's very tough to take time off because you risk losing that income. Over here, we have the B quadrant. This stands for big business owners. These are people who have businesses with 500 plus employees. And in this quadrant, the business works for you. The reason being is because you can step back and don't have to be involved in the day-to-day operations because you built a business that can sustain itself with or without you. Examples are Amazon, Facebook, and McDonald's. Below that, you have the I quadrant, which stands for investor. In this quadrant, your money is working for you. You've invested your money and now those investments are paying you dividends. Examples are rental properties. You're collecting rent from properties that you own. You own dividend stocks, which means that you can pay dividends from stocks that you own, or you own equity in the business, meaning that you invested in the business at a time where they needed to generate capital. So you were able to invest and now you're making money from the profits that business makes. So one important thing I really want to point out is that on the left side of the quadrant, meaning the E and the S, you are making what's called active income, meaning you have to insert or contribute your activity to generate income. What I mean by that is, as an employee, you have to contribute time or hours to get a paycheck. The job is paying you for your activity. As a self-employed person, you are still running and managing your business. In other words, you're putting in that activity to generate income. Now, on the right-hand side, you're making what's called passive income. This means you are earning income with minimal labor, and you are not involved in the day-to-day operations. If you've built a business with 500 plus employees, by this time you have other people that can run the business for you. You have other people in leadership positions that can run the business for you. For example, you have CEOs, you have managers, you have presidents. And as an investor, you've created a large growing portfolio that's generating income through investments you've made, making money. So the cash flow quadrants is a simple concept to understand, and Robert Kiyosaki purposely made it that way. The question you want to ask yourself is, which quadrant do I want to earn my primary income from? The reason why this is an important question to ask is because each quadrant defines and determines a different type of lifestyle, regardless of the amount of cash you earn. The kind of lifestyle you want to live is going to depend on what your core values are. Some people may love being employees while other people hate it. Some people love owning companies, but don't want to run them. And certain people love investing while others only see the risk of losing money. So if you're watching this video, I want to challenge you to ask yourselves, what are my core values and how do I want to live my life? This way you can choose the right quadrant for you. It's also important to point out you can be rich or poor in all four quadrants. There are people who are millions and there are people who are bankrupt in all four quadrants. So the next topic we're going to go over is capital gains versus passive income. So capital gains and passive income are the two different ways to make a return on an investment. So we briefly went over passive income in the last PowerPoint, and basically, passive income is income produced with minimal labor. As you can see, the definition I have here is you are producing consistent and predictable being the key word, predictable income from your investments every day, every month, quarter, or year. Examples again is a big business. When you have 500 plus employees, you have other people running the business for you. When you own real estate, you're collecting rent from different properties, and dividend stocks, you're getting paid dividends from owning a stock. Now, over here, we have capital gains. Now, capital gains is your typical buy low, sell high. As you can see, the goal is to buy something undervalued or perceived to be undervalued at the time, then selling it for a higher price at a later date. The difference between this is your capital gains. So some examples are buying a house or a car, fixing it up, and then selling it for a higher price. Let's just say you bought a car for like $1,000. It took you $500 to fix the car, and then you sold the car for $3,000. So your initial investment was $1,000 to buy the car plus the $500 to fix the car. So 3,000 minus 1,500, you made a $1,500 capital gain. The same can be said for a house. You buy a house for $200,000. It took you $50,000 to fix it. You sold the house for $500,000. 500,000 minus 250 is 250. So you made $250,000 as capital gain. The same can be said for buying stocks. So when you buy a regular stock that isn't paying you dividends, you usually want to buy the stock at a low price, and then you want to sell it when the price goes up. So the difference between that would be your capital gains. So now that we went over capital gains and passive income, let's go over the different asset classes that you can invest in to make a return. So you have paper assets, commodities, business, and real estate. So these are the four different asset classes that you can invest in to make a return. So paper assets, these include stock, bonds, and retirement accounts like 401ks, mutual funds, and Roth IRAs. So you can make capital gains from paper assets by buying individual stocks or multiple stocks, also known as shares, for a low price and then selling it at a higher price. You can also buy individual dividend stocks, which means that you're going to get paid passive income for owning that stock, or you're going to get paid dividends for owning that stock. Now, 401ks, mutual funds, and Roth IRAs, these are considered retirement accounts. They are considered paper assets, but they are a little bit different than individual stocks and dividend stocks. So mutual funds, 401ks, and Roth IRA are typically used for retirement. So what these are is these are accounts or funds that have multiple stocks in them. So usually what people do is people put money into these accounts monthly, and on average, you usually get about a 12% return yearly. Now, that's not guaranteed. Some years you might make less, some years you might make more, but over the long haul, over a number of amount of years, or over a span of many years, it will average out to 12%. That's why these types of paper assets are used for saving money for retirement. You get a better return versus saving money in the bank, which only gives you a 0.01% return. Below that, you have commodities. So in commodities, these include precious metals like gold and silver. So with this asset class, you can make capital gains by buying gold and silver at a low price and selling it for a high price. So with commodities, there isn't any way to make passive income unless you start up a mining company. With that said, buying gold and silver is another great way to store wealth, or another great way to save money. That's because gold and silver is more valuable than saving cash or saving the US dollar. It's important to know that the US dollar has an inverse relationship to gold and silver, meaning that whenever the US dollar goes up, gold and silver go down. And whenever the US dollar goes down, gold and silver go up. So again, you can make capital gains by buying gold and silver at a low price and then selling it at a high price. And you could also use it to store wealth, meaning that you buy gold and silver and you hold it. And this is because gold and silver is considered to be more valuable than the actual US dollar. And below that, you have businesses. This is when you invest in your own business or someone else's business to make a return. So again, an example would be you started a business, you built it up to where you have 500 employees, and now you can step back and you can let the business run itself, so you're getting paid passive income. Or you can start a business, build it up, and then sell the business to make a capital gain. Below that, we have real estate. And real estate, this investment can provide cash flow through renting your property or buying real estate at a low price and then selling it at a high price. So again, with real estate, you can buy a house, let's say for $200,000. Again, takes you $50,000 to fix it up. You sell it for $500,000. You just made $250,000 in capital gains. Now, the other way is buying a house and then collecting rent. So the way you would make income this way is you would collect rent, and let's say your mortgage is $2,000. So let's say you have a house and you're renting this house to two families. One family pays you $1,500, the other family pays you $1,500. That means you're collecting $3,000 in rent, and your mortgage is $2,000. So that means that 3,000 minus 2,000 is 1,000. That means you're making $1,000 monthly from the rent that you're collecting. So I know that in the header here, I put that there are 4 different asset classes, but there is actually a new asset class that just started or just came around, and that is cryptocurrency. So as of now, there are 5 different asset classes, the 4 that I introduced to you guys before, and now this one, which is cryptocurrency. So cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Litecoin are new assets. This is money that's separate from any government entity. And these are very similar to paper assets, meaning that you can buy a cryptocurrency at a low price and then sell it at a high price. And you can also use it to store wealth. Reason being is because, again, most cryptocurrencies are considered to be more valuable than the actual US dollar. Again, cryptocurrencies work similar to gold and silver in that whenever the dollar goes up, cryptocurrencies go down. And whenever the dollar goes down, cryptocurrencies go up. And that's basically it for today, guys. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe if you found this video of value. Thank you. You guys have a great day.